Good morning, dear student. I am Dr. Deshmukh Amol Jagannath, working as Assistant Professor, Department of Plant Pathology, College of Agriculture, Navsari Agriculture University, Waghai, Gujarat. Today, I am going to deliver a lecture in the course Fundamentals of Plant Pathology of BSc Honours Agriculture. The topic of the course is Introduction, Objective, Scope, Importance and History of Plant Pathology, disease triangle, tetrahedron and classification of plant diseases. So dear students, let us discuss some of the terms which are too much important in case of introduction of plant pathology. So first one is plant disease. So what is plant disease? Any structural or physiological malfunctioning occurred in the plant or plant parts due to biotic or abiotic stress is called as plant disease. So there are some of the examples. Say for example, biotic stress plant diseases are late blight of potato caused by a fungus Phytophthora infestans. Abiotic stress plant disease is Khaira disease caused by rice caused in the rice due to zinc deficiency. Then plant pathogen, an entity which causes plant disease is called as plant pathogen. So there are three types of plant pathogen. One is biotic, second one is abiotic and third one is mesobiotic. So what is biotic plant pathogen? The living entities responsible for causing plant diseases is called as biotic plant pathogens. These are fungi, bacteria, algae, etc. What is abiotic plant pathogen? Non-living entities responsible for causing plant diseases is called as abiotic plant pathogens. So soil pH, mineral deficiency, air pollution, etc. are the examples of abiotic plant pathogens. So what is mesobiotic pathogens? So the entities which shows properties of both living and non-living organisms and are responsible for causing plant diseases is called as mesobiotic plant pathogens. Examples are viruses, viroids, etc. So dear friends, along with plant disease, there is one term in case of plant pathology which is also important one, that is called as plant disorder. So any structural or physiological malfunctioning occurred in the plant or plant parts due to abiotic stress is called as plant disorder. Here in case of plant disease we have seen due to biotic as well as abiotic stress, while in case of plant disorder it is only due to abiotic stress. So you must have to keep in mind. Example is Khaira disease of rice caused by zinc deficiency. Let us discuss what is plant pathology, what are the branches of plant pathology, what are the objectives of plant pathology. So plant pathology, it is the word which is made up of two Greek words. One is pathos, means suffering, and second one is logos, means study. So the science which deals with the study of suffering of plant diseases is called as plant pathology. Or there are two other definitions. Say for example, the science which deals with the study of plant diseases is called as plant pathology, or plant pathology is an agricultural science that deals with the causes, etiology, the resulting losses and management of plant diseases. So any one definition you can write in the exam. So what is etiology? Etiology is nothing but the study of the pathogen and its life cycle. So there are different branches of plant pathology. So different pathogens are there. These are fungi, bacteria, viruses, algae, nematode, protozoa, etc. And according to which the branches of plant pathology are there. So first one is mycology. The science deals with the study of fungi. The science deals with the study of bacteria is called as bacteriology. The science which deals with the study of viruses is called as virology. The science which deals with the study of algae is called as phycology. The science which deals with the study of nematode is called as nematology. The science which deals with the study of protozoa is called as protozoology. So these all are the branches of plant pathology you must have to keep in mind. So what are the objectives of plant pathology? So there are mainly four objectives. So we must know that the science of plant pathology is studying the plant diseases and disorders. Second, we must have to study the mechanism of disease development by these pathogens. Third one is after the infection of the pathogen in the host plant, there must be an interaction occurred, and due to that we must have to study the interaction between plant and pathogen in relation to overall environment. And after all the three objective, we must have to control or manage the diseases, and that's why the fourth objective of plant pathology is to develop suitable management strategies for managing the diseases and losses caused by them. So once again we see what are the objectives of plant pathology: study of diseases or disorder caused by biotic and abiotic agent, study of mechanism of disease development by pathogens, study of interaction between plant and pathogen in relation to overall environment, and to develop suitable management strategies for managing the plant diseases and losses caused by them. So let us discuss the scope and importance of plant diseases. As we know, plant pathology deals with causes, diagnosis and management. However, the plant pathology is not that much popular as that of human pathology because it does not have that much impact. But there are two major famines occurs in the history of the world, in which gives rise to increase the scope and importance of plant pathology or plant diseases. So these two famines are: one, Irish famine, which is occurred in 1845. It is due to one very important disease of potato, that is late blight of potato caused by Phytophthora infestans. As we know, European or Irish countries staple food is potato. At that time there is no any storage structure, and that's why whatever the potatoes reaped every year, these are the only food for these peoples. And at that time the potatoes were not reaped in the field due to the heavier infestation of this late blight disease, and due to that more than 1.5 million peoples were migrated from one place to another place, and about or more than 1 million peoples were died due to the hunger. Second famine is 19 occurred in the 1943, which is called as Bengal famine. It is due to the heavy outbreak of brown leaf spot of rice caused by a fungus Helminthosporium oryzae, which is also responsible for causing the death of thousands of people and migration of people from one place to another place. So the diseases are responsible for causing direct losses in the field. It is estimated that about 26% of the world loss is occurred due to the plant pathogen in the field, and there is about 20,000 million dollar per year monetary loss is occurred due to these diseases as far as economic estimation is concerned. Plant diseases are also causes great loss by damaging food grains, fruits and vegetables in the storage. So this is indirect loss. So let us see the photographs. So here you can see Iceland Irish famine memorial, and due to which the impact on society was taken place. The peoples were died due to hunger. The peoples were migrated from one place to another place, and so these all are the impacts of these diseases. Let us see some of the examples of major epidemics of the world. As we know, red blight of potato caused by Phytophthora infestans. It was came from South America or introduced from South America to the Europe in 1830, and in 1845 it causes Irish famine in Europe, United States of America and Canada. About more than 20 lakhs people were dead, and population is reduced from 8.2 million to 6.2 million. The same diseases also come from Europe to India in 1883, but it is in control condition. Brown leaf spot of paddy, Helminthosporium oryzae, is another epidemic disease. It is introduced in India in 1942, especially in Bengal, and which is responsible for causing Bengal famine. 2 million people were died. Royal Commission set up. There is about 20 to 30% loss, and migration of peoples to neighbor state is also occurred. The third one is coffee rust, Familia vastastrix. It is again fungus, and the disease is introduced in Sri Lanka as well as Brazil in 1870 and 1974. It has wiped out the coffee plantation in case of Sri Lanka for many decades, and the coffee plantation is changed or replaced by the plantation of tea and rubber planting. The habit of the people is changed to take tea instead of coffee. Then downy mildew of grape, which is caused by fungus Plasmopera viticola. It was introduced from USA to France in 1882, and in 1882 it wiped out the grape vines, and due to that wine industry is closed in the France. Let us see some of the other examples. Wheat rust in India 1946, the epidemic has occurred. The epidemic is mainly occurred in southern United States of America in 1956. The diet of the people is changed to rye bread and cornmeal. In case of South USA, corn is used as a food instead of wheat, while in case of northern and southern Europe, wheat bread is used. Then BLB of paddy, bacterial leaf blight. It was came from Japan in Taochang native 1 germplasm. Come to the place India 1963, and the epidemic or severe incidence of this disease is occurred. Too much loss is also occurred. Then red rot of sugarcane is occurred in 1938-39, Bihar, Punjab, UP, in almost all the countries. So SBI, it is Sugarcane Breeding Institute, started. Indian Institute of Sugarcane Research, Lucknow, is also started. The variety was released by E.J. Butler. As far as Gujarat is concerned, the disease is also occurred in Gujarat in 1994 to 1995. The highly susceptible variety was COC 671, and sugarcane industry has crushed only 33% of sugarcane. In 1999, boom and bust cycle occurred. That is, the popular variety is totally collapsed because of wide plantation of this COC 671 and heavy incidence of this red rot of sugarcane. Boom and bust cycle of this varieties occur. Then wilt of sugarcane in 1992-93, South Gujarat, the disease is occurred, and yield loss is occurred. It gives yield loss of 25 ton per hectare. So these all are the major diseases which are occurred in India as well as world, which gives rise to the scope and importance of these plant diseases and why we have to take care of the plant diseases. So this is all about the scope and importance of plant diseases. So let us discuss the history of plant pathology. The history of plant pathology is divided in different 5 eras. Let us discuss some of the important scientists in the history of plant pathology. So first era is ancient era, which is about 476 AD. So the plant diseases were recorded earliest in Vedas such as Rigveda, Ajurveda, Atharvaveda, and it is as early as 1200 before Christ. Symptoms and control of plant diseases have also been mentioned in Vruksh Ayurveda, which was written by Surpal in ancient India. The plant diseases were also mentioned earlier in Buddhist literature before Christ, 500 before Christ. The Greek philosopher Theophrastus, 300 before Christ, was the first to study and write about diseases of trees, cereals and legumes. He wrote a book named Inquiry into Plants. He mentioned his experience about plant diseases but was not based on experimentation, and he believed that God controlled the weather and that weather brought diseases. Plant diseases were the manifestation of worth of God. It is due to religious belief, occupation and superstitions, or it is the effect of star, moon and bad wind. There is one example in history of world that Romans actually created a special rust god which is called as Robigo for rust diseases of grain crop, which causes too much or too heavy losses in these cereal crops, and to that god they have sacrificing the red dogs and sheep. So this is one of the culture which was also in the society of this Roman. So you must have to keep in mind Vruksh Ayurveda by Surpal, Inquiry into Plants by Greek philosopher, and the god, rust god, it is called as Robigo. Lord Pliny has described plant diseases and also suggested some remedies and he believed that the diseases are originated from the plants or from the environment. Then second era is dark era. It is in between 476 AD to 600 1600 BC. So plant pathology made very little progress during this era. That is why it is called as dark era. An Arabian scientist, Ibn al-Awan, has described some of the symptoms and control measure for plant diseases. Third era is pre-modern era. It is the 18th century to 1853. So in this, the science of plant pathology gives numbers of landmarks, and on these landmarks the building of plant pathology will be built by numbers of scientists. So first scientist is Anton van Leeuwenhoek, 1676. He was Dutch worker from Holland. He was actually a cloth merchant. He was having a habit to ground the lenses and to observe the cloths. So if the fibers of the cloth is very close, it means that the quality of that cloth is very good. And on a single day, he has came with a pond water, and he used his single lens microscope. We called it as simple microscope, which gives rise to 300x magnification. He has observed the pond water and first time seen the bacteria, which he called as animalcules. He has also expressed his views after observing this first time, that what a marvelous things God has created. So this is about the contribution of Anton van Leeuwenhoek, who has given the birth to microbiology, and after that interesting things were happened and number of scientists were joined to study the microbes, the plant diseases caused by them. Then T.M. Micheli in 1729, an Italian botanist studied several fungi and described their morphology for first time. He studied that fungi originate from spores, and he is regarded as father of mycology. T. Needham in 1743 reported first plant parasitic nematode, Angona triticum, in nematode affected with galls. Then Carolus Linnaeus, 1753, he has established a Latin binomial system of nomenclature of plants and animals in his book Species Plantarum. Tillett, 1755, proved that burnt of wheat is contagious or infectious and can be controlled by seed treatment. So one of the very important disease occurred in the wheat, it is called as burnt, and he has given or proved that it is contagious one or it is infectious one, and it may be controlled by seed treatment. So the contribution of Tillett is too much important. Then Prevost in 1807 has suggested copper sulfate seed treatment to control wheat burnt disease. In 1845, late blight of potato was appeared in Ireland. Over 1 million people were get died, and 1.5 million peoples were get migrated, and the history entered in the next era. So dear student, you must have to keep in mind the contribution of this Anton van Leeuwenhoek, P.M. Aicheli, T. Needham, Tillet, Prevost, etc. So this is too much important one. So then next era, that is fourth era, is modern era, which is started in the year 1853 and ended in 1906. In this era, one of the great scientists have given contribution in the plant pathology, and he has regarded as father of modern experimental plant pathology. He proved that lead blight of potato was caused by a fungus, Phytophthora infestans. He has studied number of diseases. He has given number of methodologies which are useful in case of plant pathology. And the scientist is Anton de Bary, 1853. Then second scientist is T.J. Beryl, 1873. He was a American plant pathologist. He first time proved bacterial nature of fire blight of apple caused by Arvinia amylovera. So it is first bacterial disease which was occurred in the plant, and it was discovered by T.J. Beryl. So it is also very important contribution. Then Robert Koch in 1876 has studied bacterial nature of anthrax in animals caused by Bacillus anthracis. He has used gelatin as a solidifying agent in culture media, which is replaced by agar-agar, which is extracted from red algae. The discovery of this agar-agar was made by one of the Koch assistant. It is called as Hesse. He has also given a theory of Koch postulates to prove pathogenicity. That is association of plant disease with plant pathogen, isolation of this pathogen in laboratory, inoculation of the isolated pathogen on the host plant must produce plant disease symptom, and then re-isolation of this particular plant pathogen must be done from the inoculated plants. Then PMA Miller did in 1882 first time use Bordeaux mixture in for controlling downy mildew of grapes, which contain copper sulfate and lime. Then Adolf Meyer in 1886 described first plant viral disease, that is tobacco mosaic virus, and proved that tobacco mosaic virus should be transmitted from diseased plant to healthy plants through sap. Jensen in 1887 has given hot water treatment for the control of loose smut of wheat, and the loose smut of wheat is a internally seed borne disease. So deep seated nature of this disease is too much important, and that's why Jensen has given hot water treatment to control this disease. Then E.F. Smith in 1890, father of phytobacteriology, he has worked on bacterial wilt of cucurbits and crown gall diseases. Then Ivanovsky 1892 demonstrated that tobacco mosaic virus can pass through bacterial proof filters and proved filterable nature of viruses. And he has given a too much significant contribution that viruses are smaller than that of bacteria. Then present era, that is fifth era, it is 1906 onwards. So the scientist J.C. Luthra in 1931 given solar heat treatment for loose smut of wheat. Then W.M. Stanley in 1935, he has proved the crystallized nature of viruses and he got Nobel Prize. So what is crystallization? It means viruses are crystallized in two parts, that is protein and nucleic acid, and that contribution was too much significant, and that is why he has got Nobel Prize. Then F.C. Bowden and Prairie in 1936, he has given nucleoproteinaceous nature of virus. He has said that the viruses are nothing but the particles which contain nucleic acid as well as protein coat. Then H.H. Floor 1955 has given a theory which is called as gene for gene theory or gene for gene hypothesis. Dear student, if plant pathogen insert a gene in host plant, then for responding that particular gene, there must be a presence of another gene in the host plant, and the theory is called as gene for gene theory. It is given by H.H. Floor in 1955. Then Dewey and his co-worker discovered mycoplasma-like organisms which are responsible for yellow type diseases in the plants. So these all are the contribution are of major scientists. There are number of scientists which are remaining, so you must go through the book so that you can cover all the scientists, but the too much important scientists I have covered here, so you must have to keep in mind. Then let us see some of the Indian pathologist contribution to the science of plant pathology. First one is E.J. Butler. He was an imperial mycologist at IRI, New Delhi since 1905 to 1921, and he has trained many workers in mycological and plant pathological research. He has written a book Fungi and Diseases in Plant. You must have to keep in mind fungi and diseases in plant. The book is written by E.J. Butler in 1918. He is also called as father of modern plant pathology of India. So Anton de Bory is called as father of modern plant pathology of the world, while father of modern plant pathology of India is E.J. Butler. Then K.C. Mehta in 1892 to 1950 studied the physiology and epidemiology of cereal rust in country, and he has also given monograph on cereal rust, and he has regarded as father of rust cycle in India. Then B.B. Mundkar has worked on cotton wilt in Bombay state, published Ustilaginales in India. He was a pioneer of establishing Indian Phytopathological Society in 1947 and its journal Indian Phytopathology in 1948. He has worked on smut fungi, and he has also written a book Fungi and Plant Diseases. Dear students, here you must have to keep in mind the book which is written by B.B. Mundkar, that is Fungi and Plant Diseases. The book which is written by E.J. Butler is Fungi and Diseases in Plants, while by B.B. Mundkar is Fungi and Plant Diseases. It is the difference. Then J.F. Dastur, he has studied anthracnose of cotton, cotton wilt, pink disease of citrus, foot rot of beetle vine, He has published 36 original papers and 4 books. B. N. Upal. He worked on downy mildew of maize, bajra and showed physiological specialization in Sclerospora graminicola. He worked on several fungal and bacterial diseases. Then G. S. Kulkarni has studied downy mildew of sorghum per millet, and he has also studied sorghum spot. V. P. Bide, he has studied bacterial diseases of plant. M. J. Tirumalachar, he has studied number of diseases. He has written about 500 research papers, identified 20 new genera, 300 species of fungi, and he has discovered antibiotic Oreofungi. So one of the major scientists which was not enlisted here, but I have mentioned here, he was M. K. Patel, who has started bacteriological school in Pune. He has identified number of bacterial genera in India. So his contribution is also too much important one as far as Indian scientist is concerned. So dear students, you must have to keep in mind E. J. Butler, K. C. Mehta, Mundkar, Dastur, Uppal, Kulkarni, V. P. Bide, M. G. Tirumalachar and M. K. Patel contribution. So let us see some of the photographs of the scientists. So Anton van Leeuwenhoek, then P. M. Eicheli, father of mycology, father of modern plant pathology, Anton de Bary, Millardet, who discovered Bordeaux mixture, Robert Koch, who has given host postulates to prove pathogenicity, E. J. Butler, regarded as father of Indian plant pathology, Adolf Mayer, first viral disease discovery, tobacco mosaic virus, B. B. Mundkar, Indian Phytopathological Society and its journal Indian Phytopathology, M. K. Patel, a senior bacteriologist of India, who has started bacteriology school at Pune. So let us start some of the other important terminologies. So first one is disease triangle. So for a disease to occur, there must be some of the factors which should be present, and then only the disease is occur. These factors are 3 factors. So let us see what is disease triangle. 3 factors must be present for a plant disease to occur. If any one of the 3 is missing, plant disease does not occur, and it is called as disease triangle. The 3 factors are a susceptible host, a virulent pathogen, and a suitable environment. So what is virulent? So the pathogen which is having the capacity to cause disease, it is called as virulent pathogen. So there are some of the examples of factors. We can, let us see. So pathogen factors, virulence, how much it is virulent. Then inoculum type, which type of inoculum is it? It is dormant mycelium, where it is spore, it is asexual fruiting body, sexual fruiting body, its quantity, inoculum quantity is also important one. Dispersal potential, how much long area it is covered, how much kilometers the particular spore of that particular fungus or bacterial disease is traveled from one place to another place. Inoculum potential, the capacity of inoculum to cause disease, it is called as inoculum potential. Then host range of that particular pathogenic organism. Say for example, Colotrichum species. It causes anthracnose in number of plants. Or say for example, Oidium mangiferi. It causes powder mildew only in mango. So according to that, host range is also important. Alteration between hosts. Then in case of host factors, host resistance. So if the plant is having capacity to resist the infection of pathogen, then it is called as host resistant plant. If it is susceptible, then it may give susceptible reaction to the plant pathogen, cause disease. Then host age, at which age the disease is occurred. Seasonal development. Some of the crops we may sow in overall are the all the 3 seasons, but only 1 or 2 seasons it is susceptible. Then host uniformity. The crop is single crop or it is having a single variety in all the farmers field. So like this way we can confirm. Then environmental factors, the humidity which is present in the environment, temperature range, drought or frost, other biotic things. Say for example, some of the insects are responsible for transmitting the diseases from one plant to another plant. So these types of biotic agents are also responsible for causing diseases. Then competition among the rhizosporic microorganism, biocontrol agents reduces the pathogenic environment, and likewise. So these all are the factors, that is host, pathogen and environment, which must be present so that only the disease can be occurred. It is called as disease cycle. So here two terms I have to mention. First one is epidemic. So what is epidemic? Widespread occurrence of an infectious disease in a community at a particular time is called as epidemic disease. Then what is host? The plant on which disease takes place is called as host. So dear friend, one may ask to give short note on disease triangle. So you have to give disease triangle. You have to state what does it mean by disease triangle. You have to enlist the factors, and you also have to give the examples of factors in each components. Then disease tetrahedron. So what is disease tetrahedron? 3 factors, host, pathogen and environment, must be present at same period of time, and the 4th factor is added to disease triangle, and that is why it is called as disease tetrahedron. So the examples of factors that affect disease epidemics are same as we have discussed in disease triangle. Then disease pyramid. So the disease tetrahedron is also affected by a human, and thus the interaction of the 5 elements leads to the formation of disease pyramid, and it was explained in modern plant pathology. So the factors are susceptible host, virulent pathogen, suitable environment, human, and at same time. So dear student, we will now see the classification of plant diseases. The classification of the plant diseases was done on different basis. So first one is on the basis of causal organism. So there are different types of causal organism, as we have explained earlier or seen earlier, that there are three types of causal agent: biotic, abiotic and mesobiotic. So biotic diseases, the diseases which are caused by biotic agent or living agent is called as biotic diseases or infectious diseases. Among biotic diseases there are again eukaryotic organisms. The organisms which contain true carrion nucleus, which contain true nucleus, it is called as eukaryotic organism. So examples are fungi, smut, rust, downy mildew, powdery mildew, algae, red rust of higher trees, protozoa, heart rot of coconut, nematode, ear cockle of wheat, Anguna triticale, root knot nematode, Melodogyna incognita. Then phanerogamic plant parasite, total stem parasite, Cuscuta or Dodder, partial stem parasite, Loranthus or giant Mistilutue, total root parasite, Orobanchi, partial root parasite, Striga. Then prokaryotic organisms, those organisms which contain primitive nucleus, it is not having true nucleus, the nuclear material is suspended as it is not having nuclear wall, and thus these type of organisms are called as prokaryotic organisms. Examples are true bacteria, citrus canker, fire blight of apple, rickettsia like organism or bacteria, citrus greening, pear cyst disease of grape, phytoplasma, Sesamum phyllodes, brinjal little leaf, spiroplasma, constant citrus stubborn. Then mesobiotic diseases. Examples are diseases caused by viruses. Example, tobacco mosaic virus, viral spindle tuber potato. Then abiotic or non-infectious diseases. The diseases which are caused by abiotic agent or non-living agent is called as abiotic diseases or non-infectious diseases. Examples are too high or too low temperature, frost injury or sun scald disease in plants, unfavorable soil pH, excess or lack of soil moisture which gives rise to physiological wilt. Then pollution, black tip of mango caused by brick cleaning. Then mineral or nutrient deficiencies, Khaira disease of rice caused by zinc deficiency, groundnut chlorosis by iron deficiency. So one may ask, define plant disease and give classification of plant diseases on the basis of causal organism. Dear student, you must have to enlist all these things with the examples of diseases they cause. So these diseases are too much important as far as your exam is concerned, as well as in case of ICR, JRF, ICR, SRF, NET, these types of examples are asked. Then there is second type of classification is on the basis of occurrence of plant disease. So there are four types of diseases. One is endemic diseases. The diseases those occurred in a particular limited area in moderate to severe form, and it is present year to year or season to season, and these types of diseases are called as endemic diseases. Say for example, in Darjeeling of West Bengal, the wart disease of potato, Synchytrium endobioticum, is present in moderate to severe form, and in each season it is present there. That is why this disease is called as endemic disease to that particular area. Then second one is epidemic or epiphytotic disease. The diseases those are occurred in a large area in a very severe form and in very short period of time, which cause very severe loss. It is called as epidemic loss or epidemic disease. Example is brown leaf spot rice occurred in West Bengal. Wheat stem rust Vaccinia graminis triticale in India. Then sporadic disease. The diseases those occurred in a location in a very irregular interval and not cause that much severe loss. And these types of diseases are called as sporadic diseases. Say for example, loose smut of wheat, grain smut of sorghum. Then pandemic diseases. The disease which occurred throughout the continent and subcontinent in very short period of time and caused severe loss is termed as pandemic disease. And it is example is late blight of potato, Phytophthora infestans in Ireland. So you must have to keep in mind all the four types of diseases with their terms. You must have to see the difference. Endemic means endemic to that area. Epidemic, particular area, too much severely occurred, great loss occurred. And it is present in one country or one state or one area. Sporadic disease, the occurrence of the disease is irregular. Pandemic disease, when the disease is occurred throughout continent and subcontinent at a same period of time. So it is the difference between these four diseases. So this classification is also too much important. You must have to keep in mind all the examples. It may be asked in your exam. Then third classification is on the basis of source of infection or perpetuation or spread. So seed-borne diseases, loose smut of wheat, soil-borne diseases, so wilt, root rot, these types of diseases are soil-borne. Airborne diseases, so wheat rust, it is one of the good example for airborne diseases. Then fourth classification is on the basis of plant pathogen multiplication. So for example, if only one life cycle of the pathogen is completed in one season, then it is called as simple interest or monocyclic disease. Example is wheat loose smut and fungal wilt of number of crops. Compound interest or polycyclic diseases. Several cycles of the pathogen completed in one season. Example is black stem rust of wheat. Then fifth type of classification is on the basis of plant parts affected. Leaf or foliar diseases. Example leaf spot of sorghum. Stem diseases, stem rot of groundnut. Root diseases, cotton root rot. Flower diseases, groundnut bud necrosis. Fruit diseases, fruit rot of brinjal. Then on the basis of symptoms produced by these plants. The rust, smut, powdery mildew, downy mildew, leaf blight, vascular wilt, damping of diseases. So these all are the classification of plant diseases which are based on different types. So dear students, we have studied introduction, scope, importance of plant diseases and plant pathology. We have also studied the history. We have also studied disease triangle, tetrahedron, disease pyramid, and the classification of the diseases on different bases. So the lecture is too much important, and that's why each and every point you must have to keep in mind. Number of objective questions can be asked in the portion. Number of subjective questions, short note or big questions can be asked. So thank you so much for attending the lecture. If you have any suggestion, if you have found any mistake while delivering this lecture, you must have to comment in the comment box so that I will take care and I will incorporate during next lecture preparation. Thank you so much.